they did the group for the movement till we get to where the destination the movement want. Then from there, they have the power to go to the ballot and make their own leaders. Is that not what we are here for?
100%. Because if you don't get your own people in the government, then who are you talking to? You have to have people who are directly answerable to you. So when you say this is the movement, then the movement has to have its own people in there. You've seen what Malema has done. You've seen what all these people around the world have done. That's the power. That's where you get the power to sit at the table to now, so that there can be real meaningful change. Lakini hii change ya kuambiwa saa hii juzi mulisikia mkiambiwa the youth will be given a youth ministry. What is that? Youth ministry ya nini? If the youth are 70% of the population, how are they being given just one ministry? They should be deciding how many ministries are going to be there in the government. They should be deciding how many ambassadors we want around the world. You need a real seat at the table where you make real decisions, not to be given piecemeal at here. We're going to have a forum for 150 people and then 50 will be youth. Who told you we want that? So yes, Femi, that's where we're going. Okay, now hold on, Femi. Let me go to Tom Boy.
Let me say something before you go. Okay.
All right.
Femi.
Yes, I'm here. Hello.
You see, Femi.
Yeah.
Femi. What I'm trying to put out across ni kwamba it's not Kibe or individual that has to give us his idea about what has to happen. It's not about the position. Will Kibe do what the movement wants him to do? Unwavering. Do you see the difference? It's we need a leader there that will do what the movement says at that particular time when the movement thinks that's what the right thing to do. Now, what Kibe is part of a leadership. Kibe ni kama mat, inakusaidia kufika pale unafaa kufika. Unanipata? If anyone out there anajaribu kwenda astray, anarudishwa back in line.
Samuel.
Is to drive, yeah.
Samuel.
Femi, niambie.
Me, I'm with Kibe. The lines, the assimilation, whatever he wants to say, I understand where he's coming from. The point that I was trying to bring forward for Miriam to understand is this. Kibe is not going to be the end leader of the generation. Kibe is trying to help the generation to implement their idea. I think that is where people are not getting.
He's a driving force.
He's the driving force, but
he's a driving force.
Yes.
Is part of the driving force. Remember, in position, in leadership, there are different positions. Now, there's an ultimate leader. There's different leadership. Unajua sasa pia kitu kingine tunafaa kuwa hapa ni kukuwa legit. Unaona? Ni kukuwa legit. Kusema, do we really need things? Do we need shit to get done? If you really need that, then you'll get utahitaji the right tools for the right job. Okay? Now, putting this movement iendelee kukua, even past Kibe, and that's what Kibe analeta at this point. Let's talk Kibe. And I want everybody akiongea opinion yake. Remember this space ina value each and everyone's opinion hapa. Now, at the moment, pia wewe Femi unamalizia kusema point yako. If it's not Kibe, it's rather say my opinion, naona inaweza kuwa this particular leadership and not about leadership at all. Mina argue about this leadership kusema, if Kibe anakuwa part of the leadership, this is the position I want Kibe to be in that part of the leadership. This is the position on Kibe anakuwa very effective. Is the driving force, is the energy, is a part of the machinery in the system inafaa kuwa nayo kusema, okay, now these things has to be kept straight. Remember, si kila mtu atafuata everything else. Watu wengine wanataka kukuwa part of it, but not really get down in the mud. Unaona? Spend Kibe, but you haven't told us, this is not a movement ya kusema ati Femi ati, I'm not for this. Why don't you say what you're actually for? If you're not for this, then you're for something else, right? So if you're not for Kibe, perhaps you're for something else, but not having somebody at all, sasa hiyo ni mbaya. Ushisikia empire gani haina king? Kulikuwa na empire come on, nani?
Samuel.
So tunataka kuweka kitu straight vile.
Samuel.
It's not straight. Yeah.
Let me put it straight.
Mimi na jump ba sana.
Let me put it straight. I support Kibe being the driver. Is that straight enough?
Part of
I support Kibe being the driver.
That's very straight enough.
And him being the driver, the first thing I'll suggest Kibe is akusanye kila mtu who the Gen Z believe that is doing something towards their move. Let them have a talk. Whatever they agree on next, we are on board with them. That is my opinion.
There you go. There you go. Ni kama mat inakufikisha tao, au unazidi pali unaenda. Mat inarudi squad yake. Squad hii itaisha hapa. Squad ni kusema if the movement itaendelea kuwa strong. Hivyo I agree with you one. Are you actually for the leadership ama una leader atondo kwa maana una utaki kuwa part of the leadership ama uko na animosity about somebody else? Remember, feelings don't really matter when facts come to be. You know, sometimes feelings za watu zina oversee, which is okay. Na tension ziko high, pressure imejaa, all of a sudden feelings zina overweigh facts zenye mtu anaona, ana feel vile vitu zili happen prior, and that should not be the way, because hii kiingia sasa tunakuwa tu mafala. Hatuwezi kuwa mafala kila siku mazee. Tuko na movement ya kutu keep up straight. If you don't like Kibe, you remember Kibe hakui leader wa Gen Z, na hivyo ndo jamaa anafikiria Kibe is not a leader of Gen Z. Kibe ni part of the leadership yenye mimi na endorse. Anyone else can endorse anyone else. Hey, if you can endorse yourself as well, just so you know, anyone else, ndio tuanze kusema okay, then what role would I play in the part of the leadership? So tuanze kuongelea that leadership more of it, because the less talking about it, we are backstepping ourselves. Tunarudi tu nyuma, all of a sudden mpaka 2027 wanaweza postpone hata hiyo election. Who knows? Nyinyi mnakaa kama mnaona ni jokes.
Well,
agree na time frame.
Samuel, hold up. Acha tusikie watu wengine. Tom Mboya, don't let these people bully you into not giving your submission. Femi and Samuel are very bullish.
Thank you, Kibe. Thank you, Kibe, for the opportunity, and I greet you Kenyans in the name of your ancestors. Well, I just requested to be able to paint a picture of what Kibe is talking about. I first pray that I be able to organize my communication here very well. Many people talk, and my worry has always been, why do we say all perfect things? We speak masterpiece, but out of it, we have no direction. I think it is true and that we should remain leaderless, partyless, and all sorts of lesses, including fearless. But at the end of the day, we need to be organized. How can we have this done? It is evident that kila mtu amekuwa akifanya what they are good at, and we've been achieving milestones. But still, the more we get killed, the more fear is being instilled onto us. How can we organize ourselves so that whatever you are good at, which I call a handbook. Hello? Well, I wrote something which I call a handbook, something that can direct us on what can we do, so that at the end of the day, we achieve something. I remember Kibe, if you never listen to Kibe, the likes of Kibe, the likes of Okia Omtata, the likes of Boniface Mwangi, and many people have always been consistent speaking about these things, even before the Gen Z took the mantle to take it to a higher level. So how can we be able to help these people and ourselves who are now out to take a direction that will at the end of the day celebrate? I was able to write a handbook that will probably guide us. And what my suggestion, which I mean is also what Kibe is suggesting, is that as part of being organized, saying that we are supposed to be, we should be organic, yes, and we should have different people doing different things. we can have people brought on board. And this assignment, I'm really giving it to Kibe, hoping that I'll be able to get his WhatsApp number and share the handbook, ndio aone kumbe kitu anafikiria is already put down on paper. You can look at for different people so that we can have what we call a working group. I call it for Kenya, because you are going out of your way passionately to do something towards achieving good governance. We can have a coordination group, which Kibe can be part of that. We can have people who are strategic planning in the strategic planning working group. They get to do something, and these people are out there. We know them, the likes of Eric Omondi, even Kasmuel Mkoure. Many people. We can have people in the communication and media group, so that you be able to plan how you communicate. I'm sure Kibe is also good in that. We can have people in the legal affairs, the likes of Faith Odhiambo and the LLSK. Many people who are passionate can have something being done there in an organized way. We can have people in the finance and fundraising group. We can have people in communication and outreach group. We can have people, so much in the Twitter spaces. We can have people in research and analysis group. We can have people in security and safety, logistics and supply chain, people in the technology and IT. We already thinking of we are already thinking of using a blockchain technology, ensure transparency, and even to ensure credibility in our elections. People in IT working group can work on that. People in the health and wellness group. We have the like of Austin Omondi, who have been doing their best, making sure that those who are short get good treatment. We have people under diaspora like art and culture. Eric Omondi is perfect in that. We have people, we can have a group of we call direct action group, whereby when we say we are now going to JKIA, who are the people on the front? People mobilizing, so that we have a good population in the for mass protest. We cannot
Tomboy. So what you're saying, Tom,
advocacy and many things. Yes.
Tom, can you hear me? Tom. I think there's a connection problem.
I'm listening.
Tom and I. You can hear me?
I'm listening. I'm hearing you. Yes, I'm hearing you.
Okay, so aren't you creating your own shadow government?
Yes.
So there's a problem. There's a problem connection, Tom. But I'm hearing you creating a shadow government. That's what you're creating. You're creating a parallel government to the one that is there. So
yes,
you would go down all departments. You'd go down to every office in government, and now reconstitute that office with this group of new people in there. Isn't that what you're doing?
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead. Man, what happened to him? Jimmy, go ahead as we wait for him to fix his life. I'm coming to you, Fatuma. Jimmy. If Jimmy is waiting, then let's hear from Fatuma. Fatuma, what's up?
Actually, today I'm so disappointed.
What happened?
Just the discussion. It's so disheartening to listen to people saying you can't be a leader. I think you are already a leader. The Gen Zs have been on autopilot. And now there is a lot of turbulence. You can't continue being on autopilot with no pilot sitting on the pilot seat. You have already done your part. I think it's high time when the people who are hosting spaces come together. The Gen Zs have to start re-strategizing. It's like like I said last time, it's like being in a situation room, in a war room. You can't say we are leaderless forever. It cannot be possible. Yesterday somebody died. We lost another life. So do we wait for more people to be killed for us to get angry enough and rethink our strategy? Kibe, are you there?
Yeah, I'm listening. Go ahead, finish your submission. Let's hear where you're going.
Yeah, so for me, I just want to share my experience. Like when I went out there, when I went back to Marsabit, I was only 22 years old. I was young, and nobody listened to me. The elders knew I had like there was no chance. And I was angry enough to be on the street and protest, even slapped an OCS. I was arrested for that. But I felt I can't be on the street forever. I need to engage differently, re-strategize differently. And that is when I picked up the ball, football. I felt that the law corridors were really too small for me. No cases were being taken to court. Murder is solved out of court, defilement is solved out of court, rape is solved out of court. Every case is solved out of court by the elders. And we have a law in this country. Marsabit is part of this country. And the elders had every decision. When you get married, who you get married to, it was a decision they make. So you had no voice, you had no choice as a woman, as a young woman then. And if I didn't re-strategize then we would not have had the generation that is now in leadership or trying to take up leadership and ready for leadership. And there comes a time when somebody like Raila has to retire, because you can't be. He has been on the street. Someone just said that for him it's just opportunity. He's looking for an opportunity even now to get into government. The Gen Zs have no business, like they don't want to get. That is not the kind of negotiation that we are doing. That is not the kind of negotiation. And so for me, I feel just like being in the situation room, you have to have people who are, the think tanks of the movement. We cannot afford to stand on the sidelines even as parents of these Gen Zs. We have to get involved in the movement, hold their hand, and run with them.
All right, Linux.
Kibe mambo.
Fiti.
I think we need to, even if it's not Kibe, it has to be someone. Even if it's Kibe, it has to be someone. You see, at the last time I spoke, we said that vacuum is never there. You have to take up space. And I said we need to show face. So my submission today is very light and very, very, very straightforward. Even if it's not Kibe, it has to be someone. It is about time people become political. And last time I said somehow politics is local. We have to be part of politics for us to change this country. We have to be part of an umbrella. If you're not wishing to be political, then we are lying to ourselves when we say we want to change this country. So we need to be political. That's it, Kibe.
All right. Engineer DK.
Hey, good morning, Kibe. How are you?
I'm easy, bro.
Okay, me, I'm good. So I just want to say that yesterday I had a meeting with Guru Akut, one of the founding members of the guy who wrote the 2010 Constitution. So he had an idea, and we agreed with some of our peers that we should start. I'm going to answer your question. We're starting a shadow government. He's going to do a petition Saizi by Jode. I think it got tayari. So he'll post it on his Twitter page. That's how he's going to make sure that Ruto will resign. Also, he's going to take it into Parliament as well. So those are the few things. But what we're going to do. So for the shadow government, we're going to have. Of course, we're going to have a leader. That's the way forward for now. Also, we're going to tunaenda What else are we going to do? We're going to speak to ICC, see if they can do something as well, because some people in Parliament are brought. The judges are being paid, so that's another thing also. So from 5 guys, there's going to be a petition. I need you guys to sign to move this guy from Parliament, and it's going to be addressed in Parliament. Thank you very much.
So many questions about that. So many questions. So you guys have come up with a whole shadow government. Have you picked your leader?
As for now, we're thinking about these bloggers, like the likes of Kimizi, those guys, not Otero, the other guy, Polo, those guys. Yeah, at the moment, but we haven't got up with a plan at the moment.
Interesting.
We're going to have a docket, and it's going to be presented in Parliament for the removal of the president.
Hey, I'm having a headache just thinking about it. Who has a question about this before I jump into it? You guys are just going to leave me out in the cold with that story, huh? Yeah. You all know what you need to ask. You guys are going to leave me out in the cold here. Linux, what's up?
Me, I want to say that move is a very good move. Now at least they're making strides. They have picked up something. They are running with it. There's someone who spoke earlier and said we better stop talking, pick up a movement and move. Leta tusonge. Hivyo venye wamefanya ni sawa. Akina Ekuru Aukot, twende nayo sasa. Kama Kibe bado anangoja, twende nayo.
Yeah, you can't fault that, but that's for sure. You can't fault that. Yeah, all right. Jay Watu, are you there?
Hi, Kibe. I'm here.
Amazing. Go ahead, man.
I don't know where to begin. Like, I have a few questions. Anybody who can answer can answer. The first thing is, I've been listening to this thing for since it began. I've been tuned into this space and some few spaces out there, and this is my observation. I think whoever has planned this, I think I should buy that guy a beer or something. That person who, according to me, what I see, like the Mandamano that was yesterday, who in this group knew how the date was chosen? Who determined? I see people are making suggestions. We'll do this. We'll do this. We'll do this. Is there anybody in this space who was asked, can we have the Mandamano on Tuesday? Is there anybody who was asked to have the Mandamano on Tuesday and Thursday or any other decisions? Did anybody predict that Osama, that guy, would have been brought into a boardroom and they would have discussed, not unless the guy hosted the president? Among those people, do you think that it is only him who was approached? If you are not part of those decisions, then the Gen Z movement, if it is Gen Z movement, they are leaders, and those leaders are insisting on staying without leaders so that they remain the leaders. They remain in control. And at the end of the day, there is someone who will come out, or a group of people who are sitting somewhere planning for the movement with their leaders, but they don't want to come out as leaders. That's why Whoever needs to be a leader, if it is Kibe, if it is anybody else, they have to take it. They don't have to wait for Gen Z to say, now you are our leader. It will never get to that day. Not today, not ever. And if you're not part of the people who planned, we will be going on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. If you are not part of the people who are planning, no, this office, we will not go to this one we will die. Who has not died since the movement began? Who decides that? And how sustainable is this movement going to be? Is it 2 months? Is it 3 months? Is it 3 years? Until when? Because let's be honest, how many people are willing to go every week 2 days? Like realistically speaking, who is willing to be there? Because me, I'm sure I'm not. I will not lie to you that I will be there. So if there is not going to be a leader, then this thing will go, and whoever the leader is will not be chosen. They will choose themselves. So if anybody has answers as to who is making those decisions, then maybe you will have the solution to that, to whatever is happening right now in Kenya. I'm willing to listen to the answers. Maybe I'll come up with new ones. Thank you, guys.
Woo! Abdullahi.
Yes, Kibe.
What's up?
Mimi niko fiti na follow discussion. So eating ya leaders, so tunafai interpret how maybe we define a leader. I think it was define a leader timse moja ndo anaenda anaongea. Movement we know leaders because different people wanna do different things. Different spaces wanafanya their own what they are best at. Ukiniuliza ando the leaders. Ando kiwa jamii, ando people look up to, wanasema he's doing right, maybe I should join him, right? So leaders wako, but so leaders maybe watu wanatafuta ni ile wenye tumezoea sijui hiyo representation which mimi sikubaliani inge nayo. Juu mtu ataenda nunuliwe, ni hiyo story yenyewe imeisha hivyo. Yeah. So vipo perspective yangu, leaders wako on small kila mtu ni actually kasi kila mtu leaders, but most people wana hizo leadership skills because watu wanajimobilize wenyewe. Hiyo representation ya mtu mmoja anaenda kuongea sidhani itawaka. Hivyo ndo movement itadedi. Tu amesema kweli, wasi wengi walikuwa approached. Hata wenye walikuwa approached hivyo ndo wanaona like hawana say because kuna hiyo bado tukulia, hatunataki representation ya mtu mmoja. Yes, kila mtu anaingia anachangia venye anachangia, but hiyo sio unakuja unatuambia sasa wewe ndo utakuwa una call the shots wewe mmoja. Yeah, I think haitawaka. So okay, wali tuko ni nakubali tuko mali crucial sana, mali tu watu wanasema tunataka leaders no tuende mbele, all these other things. Skatai ni mali tuko ni mali crucial, but how we approach it pia inafai kuwe tofauti. Tuangalie hasa kitambo hii movement zimekuwa na hasa amekuwa kimekizo same mistakes. Yeah, she makes same mistakes. Hiyo kitu ya maandamano kwa okay, I think ilianza tu maybe na think hashtag waso occupy maybe maandamano Tuesdays na Thursdays ikakuwa thing, na hivyo ndio imekuwa thing atoto toke Tuesdays na Thursdays. Kuna watu so hiyo ndio thing, hakuna mtu amelazimishwa atoke. Kuna watu watatokea, kuna watu watokee. Turnout zimekuwa low since maybe 25th. Kuna zasema watu wameuzi uoga. Ama kuna watu watasema maybe hatuna straight agenda. You know, hizo zote hizo conspiracy, any time ya conspiracy mob. Yeah. Na okay, mimi hadi si feel bad at ziko. Yaani niko sawa juu okay, kila movement hizi vitu ziko. But msisahau agenda ni gani? Agenda ndio you like Kenya mna fight hiyo ndio itakuwa ina unite. Juu basi what scenario ni tuko lot for hizi changes, then watu tutasema tukushuke, watu waseme watu wachague au watu waende wakuwe pia part of the system. Wenye pia Ruto ameenda amekuwa part of the system. Changes hasta ika
Actually nataka hiyo leaderless like you kuna sikia mtu anaongea hiyo presidency like ni devolve like president to work system ndo tu imewekwa isifanye like to someone else. Thank you for listening.
Kibe, that was a very interesting submission. Do you think what he was saying is really practical?
It's not practical. For it. You see a place that has been built well, it was built, somebody built it. You cannot live in your imagination at we are going to have, what are we going to have? How are we going to have that? Who's going to make the decision on the platform that is going to be used? Because there's a platform that has to be used. We have to come up with a platform. But who makes that decision on the platform? And you see, maybe you guys need to understand that because what you're giving, and this is what the leaders are supposed to be. Like now, the MPs, you give them the power and you tell them, hey, take my power, go represent me. Go represent me in parliament. So when they come up with stupid bills, you can defend me from the position you know us in. Or the position we have taken as people of Langata. Let's assume we're talking about Jalango. So Jalango has been given power by the people of Langata to go into parliament and fight for Langata. Okay? So when he goes into parliament, he has to now be in line with what people of Langata are going through. And he fights and he says, I want this and I want that. And he debates on at the house and he does all this shit. So that's what we're talking about here. Because you guys want everybody to make the decision. Not everybody can make that decision. You have to give the power to somebody to make the decision on your behalf. That's why this person you're giving is very important. Because when you give him that power, you're supposed to sit back and let him do the work. The same way when you give your house girl the power to raise your child. You're not going to be at the office every 5 seconds calling her. You decide either she raises a kid or you raise a kid. But the better the house girl, the better the child is going to grow. So you guys have to get the leadership trauma out of your head, because we have that trauma of the leaders. But think about somebody who's managing your product. Bro, if you have a shop, you get someone who's good at managing your shop. Oh, you sleep. And that point, anybody who has been in business, when you get a good manager, once they manage for you the shop so well, you want to open more shops and give them this, tell this person, can you do this for me here as well? Now, mwelewi hiyo story ya leadership. It's crucial that Gen Z spend the rest of their time now identifying who these people are. I will help you. I will do it. I will present. In fact, I will go to each and every inbox of every person who I think is one of these people and tell them, hey, listen, come here, let's sit privately, away from all this noise. Let's have this discussion because we must have it. Whether we kithni or we ndekni. Hii kitu hatutapewa. Tunangoja kupewa. Somebody said that shit and I don't know, it was a lady. I think it was you, Fabi. Hii kitu mnangoja kupewa, hakuna kitu ya kupewa hapa. Is you declare yourself. yeah. Today I've learned so many things. There's nothing to be given for free until somebody is waiting to be given. Ah, damn. So yes, Mariam, it doesn't make sense. Anything that has to be built, lazima watu wawili watatu watakaa chini wa discuss. Na sasa shida ni saa hii gava inakaa chini kudiscuss vile itaokota hii movement. Lakini movement haikai chini kubonga vile itaenda mbele. How are you going to ever get to where you're going if you don't sit and agree? So you can live in your delusions. You can live in your imagination as long as you want. But the truth of the matter is lazima mtafika hiyo pali na show, lazima mtafika hapo. So me and everyone, Wiki, go ahead.
Kibe, can you hear me?
Yeah, go. You're good. You're good.
Okay. I like the fact that you're saying whether we kidney or indefinite. At this point, Kibe, to be honest, we've realized we know what we are fighting for. We know who the enemy is. We've outlined the problems that we, the Gen Z and the millennials, are facing, and I think we are all in agreement. Yeah. And it's high time, and I totally agree with each and everyone that has put this forward, that we need somebody now to echo those our sentiments out there. And that's why I was very pleased when you decided to host guys like Akina Gaido. I don't know whether they, because I didn't listen to that, I don't know whether they came or they presented themselves. But I would still urge you, keep it. Because even right now, I've had the privilege of joining almost each and every of these spaces that are held. My suggestion would be, Kibe, in your position, you are able to reach each and every person. These people who are holding these spaces, at least you can, either publicly or privately, you can reach out to these people and try to, Akina Kimwezi, Akina, right now I can see high time that we get somebody on the driver's seat. Yeah. And my suggestion is that we get also Miguna. I don't know, you don't like him that much, but that man speaks sense. Yeah. Sometimes it's good to take away the message from the messenger. If you don't like the messenger, pick the message. I had a teacher who used to tell me that I come to class and teach you. I'll bring you a sack full of what I've taught you. Pick out one or two. The rest, give it back to me. I'll go back with it. So it's high time you also just one day tune when Miguna is one of these spaces. Just tune and listen to him. That guy has facts, and I believe some of those facts are things that we can apply to this movement, that it will really help us keep it. So even if you don't like the man, please just listen to him. You can even go there with a pseudo account, listen to him, and then you'll really realize that he speaks sense. And it's somebody we can tap. We don't have to use it, but we can tap from what he usually talks about, and it can help forward our agenda to somewhere. It's high time we be on the table. It's high time we make a majority of those decisions. Everything that you say makes sense. The youths are the bulk in Kenya. We are over almost 20 million. Why should we be given one ministerial post? We are the ones who are supposed to be deciding how many posts, how many how many of those CSS should exist. Why are they deciding on our behalf? And then they are choosing for us which one to take. It means we don't have a choice, yet we are the majority. We might have messed up in 2022 by not voting in or not partaking into the elections, but I think that was an eye-opener. We ended up with leaders who are not our own, but it was an eye-opener for us. So what we can do moving forward is to ensure that we don't make the same mistakes we did. We should tap in from that and then ensure that moving forward, we are on top of each and everything, the decision that the government makes. Our voice must be heard in each and every decision that they make. That is the only way our aspirations and our desires will get to be fulfilled. I think that's all I have to say, Kibe.
All right. Thank you, Wiki. Appreciate that. Wiki says we should bring everybody, including Miguna. The only problem I have with Miguna is that Miguna is not very collaborative. He's like Guaido. They don't like to work with people. They are better when it's just full-on chaos. But when it comes to building, they're not builders. So Miguna will not play well with others. Same with Guaido. He'll always look for a way to just sabotage the whole thing. So yes, I do want them here, but
That's why I said, Kibe, we don't have to bring them on board. We just have to tap into what they're saying. It will really help move us forward. Yeah, there's a way you can take a message from somebody without really.
Yeah, but you see,
implementing his ideas.
You see, the thing is this: I don't want to take a message from someone I do not really agree with, because you see, fundamentally, we're already not agreeing on one thing. Because I'm saying you're emotional, and the way you're presenting your argument is in an emotional way. So I don't want to follow you down your emotions. I want to follow you in logic. So as long as we remain on logic, I'm fine. But if you go to emotions, then you lose me. That's why I have a problem with these two people, because of the small emotions they keep having. And we cannot have angry people. Even giving advice, first go get rid of that anger. It doesn't matter what advice you want to give us. Go get rid of that anger. And then come back and tell us now, okay, now my anger is done, and now I can give advice. Otherwise, you may be giving us advice from your a very dark place, my guy.
Let me interrupt you a little, Kibe. There's a space Miguna was hosted by Gindo. I don't know if I'm getting the name correct. And he categorically said that when William Ruto first contacted him, he gave him an idea of how he could bring back the money that some few Kenyans has outside the country. Yeah. So such an idea, it's really, if you're someone who has the best of the country's interests at heart, an idea like that, regardless of how it's presented, it could be that Miguna has personal vendetta with Uhuru Kenyatta, and that's why he was giving William Ruto such ideas on how to get stashed money, because we know the Kenyatta's family has the majority of money outside the country. We've all had that over the past years. But if you are really listening from someone from the point of view where you mean good for the country and you really want Kenya to prosper, then you'll tap into that idea and then leave the angry Miguna or Miguna who need revenge with the Kenyatta with Uhuru Kenyatta out of it and implement the idea. That is what I'm talking about. So as much as he might be emotional, as much as he might be angry, and maybe talking from the point of I want to. I need to maybe sort of
Wiki, let's be honest about where we are right now, okay?
Yeah.
Miguna does not play well with others. He does not. He has never been able to play well with others. It's not me who's coming up with this shit. He does not know how to play well with others. So as long as you cannot play with others, then you cannot build with others. So you cannot build with a Kenyan. Miguna doesn't want to build. He wants to destroy. So there's no building here you're talking about when you mention Miguna. When you mention Guaido, there's no building you're talking about. Yeah, so the ideas are there. You can take ideas from anyone. Bro, I don't need ideas from Miguna. We can take ideas from anyone. Okay? Right now, when I open this show, I have even someone like you, Wiki. Just mute your mic for a second. Even someone like you, Wiki, why can't we take your ideas? It doesn't matter. Ideas the mob. Ideas are the majority. We have so many ideas. The implementers are the people who are missing. The people who are going to make sure these ideas come to life are the people who are missing. And Miguna is not one of them. Francis Guaido is not one of them. They do not play well with others. These are activists. Someone like Boniface Mwangi is not one of them. These are activists. Now you must go to second gear. The first gear is good to get you out of the mud. But now we need to go higher. We need to go to the second gear. So these guys are good when it's activism. But now you need to go to the streets and, we need to burn down everything. What is level 2? So my level 2 is, hey, these are level 1 guys. It doesn't matter what you think about them. They'll always be level 1 guys. Miguna has always remained on that side. Boniface Mwangi has been there on that side. These are guys who, this is their life. They're like Raila Odinga. You guys are trying to get a Raila Odinga into presidency. He's telling you, I don't want to be a president. I've never wanted to be president. I've always been on this side. This is where I flourish. So if you guys want to remain on that side, where you're just, players that don't make a difference in the game, then fine. You can go listen to those guys. But those guys are not, they're never meant to leave that position they're in. So if you're getting an idea from Miguna, go get the idea. But don't get Miguna. Leave Miguna right where he is. Because Miguna is going to ban even you. You, when you go to him, he's going to ban you. Francis Gaido fights his own people. He's just a fighter. These are not builders. So don't bring builders here. Don't bring fighters here. Time you're fighting him, is a sign time you could strategize, you could build.
I get you, Kibe, and I totally agree with you. So maybe you be at the helm and help steer this ship to where it will safely dock, bro. Because as you rightfully mentioned earlier, we have Makoure, who is in each and every station right now. Sometimes he's even contradicting himself if you listen at how he talks. And it's because we lack leadership. Had it been that we have somewhere a point of reference that each and every person was reading from the same script, then it would be much easier so that even if he appeared, it's good to appear for those interviews. I don't refuse that. But had it been that we have the same script we are reading from, that when I call Kibe, he says this, the exact thing. When Makoure appears for those interviews, he says the same exact thing. Then we even the government will come to realize that we have something tangible now that and they'll really take us seriously. But if we have Kibe here trying to steer us to this direction, and then somebody from somewhere comes with a totally different idea, then those people, wherever they are, they look at us and they say, these people, just leave them. As our lady earlier said, they know we'll make noise, and at the end of the day, there's nothing that will amount to it. But I totally agree with you that right now we are on gear 2, and we really need people to be on the driver's seat and steer us towards the direction that we really need to go. I think that's all I have. Thank you, Kibe.
All right, Mariam, before we go to everyone, Mariam.
Yes, Kibe, I do have a question for you. We all know that the only way to beat the system is to understand the system. And I know that you are affiliated with a lot of people who are either in politics or are ex-politicians. So have you thought of bringing any of them for this conversation so that they can give their input into what way what direction we can take if we want to beat the system?
No, for me, I'm not interested in beating the system, Mariam. So when you come up with that, say the only way to beat the system is to be in the system. No, I'm not interested in that. Because that.
What are you interested in?
No, because that is, you see, that has no real results. That's the same thing like what all these other people have tried to do, Jalas and the rest. You cannot beat that system. That system has been created to be like that. That's the house. You can never beat the house. The minute the house realizes you want to beat it, it will expel you and kill you if it must. The house cannot lose, so you cannot beat that system. So my interest is not in beating the system. I have never even thought about that. Because again, Mariam, you have to understand, the people who are running the system are not guys from the towns, these are guys from Shads. So already, there's a, what do you call it? There's a mismatch. When you approach there, you think they'll want you there, Mariam, with this kizungu konawe. Hey. They will not want you there. They want to kick, they don't want you because you are coming in with the accountability. You're coming in with the to make sure the system works. They do not want you there. So unless you get rid of all of them in one clean swoop, Mariam, and I'm talking about get rid of everyone who is in Gava, you can never beat that system. That system does not exist only with the MPs or with the MCAs or with the president. That system is all the way down to the clerks, to the people who are going to be signing that receipt or whatever. So that system is so rotten that if you don't get rid of all of it, you have to create a whole new system. And me, I'm for a whole new system. I am okay with that. Very okay with creating a whole new system.
Kibe, is that really, Amando Delulu Wednesday, is that really practical to remove everyone by one cleanse? So can it really happen realistically?
But aren't you looking for the solution? If there's a solution that has been presented, see, you don't have the solution.
So this is what
system has refused to work for the people. So who are these people who it's not working for? Because the system is working for some people. Don't forget that. The people who are benefiting from the system, them, they are fine with it. So the only people who have a problem are the ones it's not working for.
So you see your dilemma, Kibe, is for you to even remove all these people the way you're talking about it, you need to get in the system. You need to understand that system for you to be able to remove them. It's a system that will remove them, that will spit them out. So you cannot penetrate it without understanding it.
No,
are you understanding?
No, I get what you're saying, but for me, it's a bit more black and white than that. For me, I don't think you'd ever get rid of that system by being in the system, or you'd ever fix the system by being in the system, because there is no evidence of that. There's no evidence of a fixed system. There's evidence of people coming in with new systems. The fixed system approach has never worked because the system is rotten to the core. To the core, Mariam. The system, once you get into the system, you've already been taught how to be corrupt. So how are you going to fix that? Like now there's some people who, by the time they live in Kiganjo, their first posting, they've already been told how much they'll be given by the end of the day. These guys discuss it when they're in Kiganjo and all these training institutes, knowing that as soon as I finish here, I'm getting into government. So the system is rotten. If you don't get rid of that system, then there's no way you can fix the system. They say, hey, this house needs to be demolished. There's no fixing it. So if you keep insisting on fixing it, then you are part of the problem, because you are the ones who know this house needs to be demolished, but you are here painting it. You're here telling people that they can live in it, and you know it is a danger to everybody. So for me, it's very black and white. Either you get rid of this system, put in a new system, or you just assimilate into the system. Simple. Two things. Get rid of this system, bring in a new system. Even the other day, I told these guys, you guys might think of coming up with your own constitution. If you're the majority, why not? This constitution doesn't seem to be working for you. These guys seem to be flaunting. Every time they're given a law or the High Court says something, they say, oh, fuck it. Fuck High Court. Fuck the courts. We shall go and do whatever we want. Umelewa Mariam hapo?
Naelewa, but bado niko stuck hapo kwa
Kwa?
Hapana. Maybe let someone else submit first. Okay, but because my question was, as I said earlier, I know you're affiliated with people who can give you very good counsel on how to go about this. Because I see in Kenya is here, he's a very big pusher of Ruto must go. For Ruto to go, you actually need to learn. You have to remove him constitutionally. You cannot remove him by being in the streets. That's what I really think. So for you to be able to do that, that's the system I'm talking about. You have to have someone who will actually advise you how to go about it. I'm using that example, yeah? So my initial question was, do you think that these ex-politicians or current politicians would actually have good input in the way to go about this? And we had a gentleman here was talking about Miguna and all that. I understand why he's talking about them, because they give advice based on the constitution. So do you think that these kind of people would have good input when it comes to this, do we say movement?
No, I don't think they would. I don't think they would, because this movement does not need people. It doesn't need talkers. It needs doers. And doers are more valuable than talkers, because talkers can talk a big game, but on the ground they do nothing. So we'd rather work with doers. Because if they were doers, then we would have seen what they have done, but they are not doers. Gen Z have proved they're doers. Gen Z now, when they want to fix something, they are going to fix it. So we'd rather work with doers. You'd get more done with doers than talkers. Hey, Mariam, they have talked too much. And I'm trying to stop us from being those people who just talk and do nothing. That's why today is a very important show. We must get somewhere. We must stop being these guys who just all we do is talk and talk and talk. Then you get a dopamine hit, feel good in your nuts, and then you go home and say, oh, you know, today I've done something. What have you done? Everyone. Moremi Kogi, are you there?
Yes. I hope you can hear
Perfectly,
me.
go ahead.
Okay, so before I start I have written several points down, but before I start, let me first address Mariam. Mariam, you're saying that it's not possible for us to change the entire system, yet it is. It actually is, because if we let's say how Ruto has just fired the CS, it has not been gazetted and all that, but if we were to change, if we were to remove Ruto, according to the constitution, and also as I was being taught in primary school, if the president steps down, the entire government is dissolved. So Gen Zs have a point, and saying that going to the street is not going to help is actually wrong, because going to the streets, especially in the busy towns and cities, means that business is at a standstill on that particular day. And business being at a standstill means that there are losses that are being accumulated, and this is an economic burden that is being brought about because the government is not listening to the people. Next, I wanted to talk about Kibe. You said that us being leaderless and all that is pointless. However, I also heard you say that we are in step 2. I do not think we are done with step 1 yet. As long as we are still tweeting Ruto must go, it means that Ruto is not gone yet. So we are not done with step 1. So if we are not done with step 1, if we choose leaders now, what makes you so sure that they will not be compromised? I mean, we have been seeing Azimio, ODM. They have been having a leader all this time. People have been dying in Mandamano every year. However, Raila will go into some room, shake hands with whoever, and then all those deaths will be for nothing. All that will be for nothing because he's going to compromise. So at the moment, I do not think we need leaders. We need to stay focused on the goal, which is putting as much pressure as we can to ensure that Ruto goes. And also, I wanted to say this, that we should stop referring to Ruto and his cronies as leaders. They are not leaders. They are our employees. We are the ones who gave them the job to take care of the country, because not everyone can do it. We are the ones who employed them. So we should treat them like employees. So let me ask you this. If you go to your house and find your maid has sold your television, will you sit down for dialogue, or will you just fire them? That is a very good question. Another question is, you have consumed poison. At this moment, there is poison in your stomach. Will you focus on going on what you're going to eat next, or are you going to focus on dealing with the poison in your stomach at the time? Before I continue, is there any question? I have another point. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to talk about is about having political parties and all that, having leadership and all that. Having political parties, again, I go back to ODM. This is where we bring about herd mentality, where we think like sheep, where we expect all our decisions to go out through one person. But if we all shout, it is easier to hear one person speak, but a multitude is louder. That is why it is better for us to go to the streets. I am a Gen Z and I will go to the streets. And so a lot of people have been asking, what next after Ruto steps down? I'm sure the constitution has stipulated what happens once the president goes down. I think the parliament is dissolved and all that, and the KDF take over and all that, and then people are going to stand up for these positions. The same scrutiny that we have given Mr. Ruto right now, I am pretty sure that the next candidate will undergo particular scrutiny. And I think the parts of the systems that should be changed are, one, the people who are getting into these MP and MCA positions, they should not be driven by greed. We should find leadership oriented people who actually want to lead. So actually reforms should be made, constitutional reforms should be made. And I was reading the other day that there are reforms that can be made either by an act of parliament, where the National Assembly and the other one, the County Assembly, discuss things, and then they are passed into law, and they are signed, bills and signed and all that. However, there is also ways that the public can. So there are amendments that can be made in the Constitution directly through the people. I'm not sure which section that is. I will look up that section and then I'll drop it in the comments. And then we can also hold a referendum. So the leaders that Andrew Kibe is talking about, the leaders that we are supposed to get after Ruto goes, or if we are supposed to get them at this exact time, if we are supposed to get those leaders, then if they want a step forward, let us not negotiate with the government. Let us change the entire system. Let the leaders you want us to choose come up with a referendum then that blocks all these loopholes that make it easy for corruption to go on. The main reason corruption is so rampant in the country is because it's a profitable business. I mean, the risk is very low compared to the reward. For instance, if there was a time, I'm not sure if it was Kabogo, stole around 500 million, and then he was fined around 200 million. You see, that is business, where you put the fine amount in the calculation, because as long as these people, as long as the Constitution makes it possible for this to happen, it will continue happening. So those leaders we're supposed to choose, we're not choosing leader. We should not choose leaders so that we can put them in the ballot, because that will be the old mentality where the people of Murima are saying kijana yetu, the people of Rift Valley are saying kijana yetu. Now Gen Z will also start saying kijana yetu. That means we'll be going back to the old politics. But if we want to fix this nation, we should come up with the constitutional reforms. The Constitution is the only one that will save us, which means that if somebody steals from the government, this is what will happen to them. And it is not something that anaweza lenga tu eti acha nilipe fine iondoke. In fact, the fact that they are stealing money that affects a number of lives, because if you steal 3 billion shillings, that means you've affected, assuming a normal Kenyan operates at 1,000 shillings a day. If you steal 3 billion shillings, you have affected the lives of around 3 million Kenyans. That is not something that should be compromised. You should not be given a fine for something like that. That is almost the same as treason. You are an enemy of the state, and you should be treated as such. I think one of the main problems is that the Constitution is very lenient. The Constitution treats criminals and the innocent, all of them equally. It's true, we are all equal in the eyes and image of God, but our actions are not. That is why there is hell and there is heaven. And there should be greater consequences for these things. So once we are done with the step one of making sure that Zakayo ameshuka, the next step will be fixing these loopholes and ensuring that it is not possible for us to lose this money. Then maybe Gen Zs will make their own political parties and all that. Yes, that is my submission, and I hope everyone is having a good day. Yes, you can carry on.
All right. Thank you, Murimi Kogi. Midi Joe.
Yes, please. Thank you, Kibe, for the space. First and foremost, I want to differ with one Mariam, because she said that we can't change this country just merely by using the constitution and going to the streets. Let me remind her that going to the streets is something that is embedded in our constitution. So people going out to the streets, it's constitutional. Now, the big question is, why is the government making it hard? Or rather, why is the government preventing the people from protesting and picketing, whereas it's a right in the constitution? Because these guys are afraid that if they let it happen the way it's supposed to be, the next thing is that they are going home. So we hear the president talking about rule of the law, and it's the same government that is preventing or maybe abusing people on the streets when we go to protest, even if it's done in a peaceful manner. So one thing is, we know the government is contradicting itself when it comes to use of the rule of the law statement. Secondly, when your computer has virus, do you pick files to cleanse, or do you cleanse the whole of it? That's the question that everyone is supposed to be asking him or herself, because you can't fix a system. You can't fix a system. And the system that we have in the government, we can't fix it. So we need to get rid of everyone in office and come up with a new system if we want this country to move forward. Because what happens is that, and I'd like to encourage everyone to do their due diligence, even when it comes to the county governments and things like that, even the national government. You'll see to it that there are characters who have served almost in every regime since the time of Kenyatta, our first president, up to now. There are certain characters that are never touched. Even if we have a new regime, they remain in office. Why? And I have a simple answer to that. These guys are the guys now that are responsible in showing the new leaders how corruption is carried out. Because when you are elected in office, new leaders, they come in very naive, very honest, and stuff like that. But there are these guys, and these guys are never in the limelight, but they are there. They are there. They are the ones who show these new leaders how to do it, how to steal money, how to bypass, how to break the constitution, and how to get away with it. And these guys are almost in each and every ministry. They are in each and every arm of the government. Name them, the executive, the parliament, and even in the judiciary. And people are supposed to know that it's so serious now. It's so serious because even in our county governments, aren't there new people who can work in these offices? Aren't there new people who can be appointed in those posts and serve? Because we are all Kenyans. But just because the new leaders that come in, they share the same mind with other leaders that we had. Now, these guys show them how to steal. These guys coach them. These guys coach them how to do business with our money. They show them what to do and what not to do. So in my opinion is that we need to have a new system. We need to kick out these leaders who have served more than 10 years. And as we speak right now, Ruto's regime is only 2 years old. When he was deputy president, he was always complaining Oh, the president is neglecting me. My office hasn't been allocated this and this amount of money. I don't know. I'm not being given the government aeroplanes to fly in and stuff like that. Now he's the same guy who is the president now, and still the things that were happening during Uhuru's regime, they are the same things that we have right now. We don't have new problems. Come on, guys. We don't have new problems. Specifically those who have served. Let's not lie to ourselves. They have the blueprint of each and everything that they do. So the reason we are saying this government needs to go is because we have characters in government that have been there since time immemorial. So guys, let's be realistic for once. Let's be apolitical for once. And let's shun away this mentality of our guy. Because even right now, it's so unfortunate that one governor of one Nyeri governor, Mutahi Kahiga, I heard him the other day saying that we have 8 positions in the cabinet that are supposed to be preserved for Mount Kenya leaders or stuff like that. What kind of nonsense is this? Because these guys know if competent people are appointed in these offices, then their game has come to an end. They will have no people to cover their corrupt dealings in government. They will have no godfathers. And we have to get rid of these guys. We have to get rid of these guys. And if not so, then let's just go back to our normal businesses and call it a wrap and say we tried. But winners never quit. And we are just about to win. Be it now or later or in future, but we are about to win. So let's be realistic, guys, and let us hold the bull by the horns. Let's face our problems the way they are. Let's not just talk and talk and talk and run away from the reality. The reality is that this country has gone to its knees because of the same leaders that we keep on recycling. These guys know everything about the government. They have mastered their art. And the only way that we can get this country moving forward is to get rid of all of them. And that's why they are afraid. Because if we get rid of all of them, we'll have new leadership that will go after them. And that's what they are preventing. Because they know very well. If a new leadership comes in place or a new regime, a regime that will not tolerate corruption, a regime that will not tolerate bad governance, a regime that won't tolerate police brutality, then they know it will be hell for them. So today, guys, let's be realistic. Moving forward, let's be realistic. That's my humble submission. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Midi Joe. IPR review. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you for this opportunity, and I will seek your protection, Mr. Kibe, because I'm not here to make popular opinions. I'm here to give facts. First thing first, let's start with these people who are saying that we need to remove them all so that we bring them new. Who are these one you're bringing? Are you bringing them from heaven, or they are Kenyans? And what has Kenyans been doing? You've been voting for them ever since. Have you? Is it that you acquired brains today that you didn't have since 19, whichever? All the election, they say youth. There's somebody yesterday who came here called Keegan, who told us that we need another president for youth so that they don't go to state house. Do you think do they want to have two centers of power in Kenya? I'm asking, do they want? Just because you came the other day does not mean that you are very smart. It means that you found things the way are, and you got a vote. You didn't even vote at your fellow agency. So when they talk about corruption and come here to lament, have they fixed the judiciary? We're supposed to handle the corruption. With this thing, the only thing is that they're emotionally excited, but they don't have the practical solutions. Somebody talked here about military. When the military seizes power, they don't seize with it with this with the intention of relinquishing, and that means the constitution will be suspended. What happens after the constitution is suspended? They choose when the election will be held, because they don't owe you anything. When you talk, when now the constitution is here, Ruto, you will tell him there will be election 2027. And there will be election 2027. But when the military is there, the constitution is suspended. That means nothing is functioning. So when now, understand this, when they instead of fixing the IEBC because they've been complaining with what this when once the military is there, that means for the next 70 years there will be no democracy, because you didn't put them there. They will decide when to leave. There's another thing I saw yesterday, and I'm seeing here one community taking jobs. How did you come up with that data? That is not normally politically motivated. Where you pick, you stereotype and pick people from certain community, you put their name somewhere, then you start pointing a finger at them. Bring the whole list and bring that this is the percentage of the people, that we will end up where one community is being victimized for something they didn't do. I will tell you, there are Kikuyus who are unemployed, and there is something. So I don't know where they came with an instrument to test that this will be a perfect Kenyan, and now we have a new machine that this will be a competent Kenya. What is competence? Even companies in the West fail with the competent management. And there is something about these. There was somebody who were agitating for something like interrupting business in town. Where does your right start and where does my right start? If you go to the streets, you interfere with my business. Does it not mean that you even do I not have rights to carry my own business so that you interfere with it? So that's why we have Uhuru Park, we have Kamkunji. Just be going there. No, nothing in the streets. Be careful. Your rights does not stop mine. So when you complain about police brutality, also be considerate that you also interfered with my rights. So be careful with what we show. And also, there is something. Now, let me give you something practical. Not even practical. What you guys want? Everybody to exit Kenya. Then now you go to Indian Ocean. So as you come, I'm the one selecting. If I don't like your face, I don't like your character, I don't like you, I shoot you, you go out, then we have a new country. Is that what you want? The perfect? The only thing, the problem is that if people don't agree with you, you start telling me that I am wrong, I'm stupid, no, that's not how democracy works. You must entertain all the stupid ideas. That's why you go on demonstrating, destroying other people's business, like yesterday. And when the police try to protect other people, it becomes brutality. And also, always there will be collateral damage, because you don't go to the streets there, destroy business, and think police will be handing you roses. And in the course of things, there will be collateral damage. So be careful. So, and these things, there was somebody who was taking to TV this and used the Kenyan media. A Kenyan media used the Kenyan frequencies that has been rented to Kenyan media to incite Kenyans against their government. They want to put their competent people or professionals. Who are these professionals? In the name of National Transition Council. Who are these? Who's going to select them? Who is going to vet them to? It's not that we come here to media to vet people because of your emotions, using your emotions that people are competent. No. That is why the reason we have election every 5 years. They had election in 2022 and there will be election in 2027. Fix the process. If you want to fix IBC, if you want to fix the judiciary, fix them. But at the moment, these things of going to interrupt other people's right in the name of removing Ruto, that won't work. We are not going to allow you to take us to where Somalia is, to where Libya is. Libya as National Transition Council. Up to date, there has not been an election. So, and Pakistan is suffering from constant coups, and we don't want to go there. So please respect the rule of law. We have a constitution in place. If you have any complaint against any particular police station, you don't go to the IG, go to the police station. You can sue that police station. I've sued one police station. I sued the OCS, the OCPD, and I got my right. So it's this stupid thing of lynching each and individual person at the top using tribal rhetoric is very dangerous and stupid. People should should be careful with what they wish for.
All right, thank you. I am peer review. Let's start to close this up as quickly as possible. I think we've spoken enough. We've been here 4 hours, 30 minutes. ENGDK, is it Engineer DK? Go ahead.
Firstly, I want to disagree with peer review. We do not disturb businesses. We do not. Those who are called hired goons. People with rungus and Walilipa who go City Hall. Those are not ours. We are peaceful. We are very peaceful. We do not disturb anyone. And saying for us to go to Uhuru Park or whatever, we can go anywhere we want to demonstrate our democratic right. Now, Section 22 of the Constitution, it says every person has the right to institute court proceedings claiming that our right of fundamental freedom in the Bill of Rights has been denied, violated, or infringed, or is threatened. So that means if the people wanted the finance bill to be rejected, he has done it. If we don't believe Ruto is legitimate, he hasn't done his work, he can resign. Just like the French government has resigned like 24 hours ago. So to answer, I think it was Mariam's question. That was my point to her. So we have the power to remove Ruto. We have the power to give him pressure. We have everything in our rights to remove him, and his whole government is collapsing. So what's the next point? So the next one, we need a leader, a youth who is doesn't believe in tribe but just believes in Kenya and loves the country and is not corrupted and is and looks out for his people. So I'd like to repeat. There's going to be a petition today. Later on, I'll urge all of the youth. I'll be posting on my timeline. We come and we see what we can do, because it's going to be presented in Parliament. It's going to be a docket. So yeah, that's my submission. Thank you, Andrew.
All All right. Thank you, Engineer DK or DK again. Before we get to hear from Tom Boyer, Stephen Morioki, what do you have to say?
Thank you so much, Andrew, Kive, for being consistent and opening the space all the time. Don't give up. Thank you so much for Raz who have been able to go to the street and to demand for the rights. Gentlemen and ladies, I want to request that there are those grievances that we put in from the first day, and some of those grievances have been met. For example, the CAS position, he said he has removed the budgets for the first lady and the second lady, and he has even gone ahead to say some of the budget lines that are going to be cut. So I am asking, going forward, because now you have created more enemies, Kive, the enemies that you started with have increased. And the ones that have increased is that some of those CAS that you have said even you don't want them to appear anywhere have become our enemies all of a sudden. So going forward, we need to know what are we agitating for and within the confines of the law. That's what I would ask, so that we don't lose more blood, because I know our president is also going to be fires enough. He's going to be breathing fire because he has seen there is a lot of pressure. So we give him time. Counties need now to be reduced. I think this is the right time that which we had said from long time that punguza mizigo. What we need to address our representation. They keep telling us, oh, we want to get to Singapore. I found out that congressmen in Singapore are paid 500,000. Our MPs earn a lot of money. In fact, if we are trying people who earn $1 million in this country, you'll find there are so few of them. And those people who are earning $1 million are required to work from 8 to 5. And actually, they are even on call, come even on a Sunday. So let's come up with points now of knowing what are we agitating for. We are waiting for the CS. We see the list. If the list does not please us, we have to go back, because we are not going to recycle politicians. And our problems actually start with the politicians and end with the politicians. Once they hijack our issues here and they start like they are fighting for us, I tell you, we are doomed, because they are going to find a way to connive, and whatever we will be agitating for is not what we are going to get. Efficient and tainted people to deliver to the Kenyans. So because I know there are many people who would want to speak, thank you, Kive, for the opportunity. I thank you so much. Let's continue to engage. Let's continue to get ideas, so that those ideas, the quality ideas, get to the president, and we see a change in the country. When the country is working, it is better for us, all of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Stephen Morioki, for a quick, straight to the point submission. I peer review. Why are you such a victim? I peer review tweets. It's you I'm talking to. Why are you such a victim?
No. Every time I don't know what's wrong. It seems my opinions sometimes are very factual.
No, stop thinking that your opinion is so radical that wherever you go, you have to keep apologizing for your opinion, like it is something that we've never had before. But to the point where when you finish making your submission, and now you have to go and you have to leave the speaker panel, you have to go out there and start saying, I knew that as soon as I make my submission, I'm going to be kicked out. That's some puny shit. Do not be puny, my guy, okay?
Okay.
I'm the one who removed you. You have your time to leave. Why are you going to bitch out there like there's some